morning to you live from Ondo City. This is your breakfast news from AYOGEN online television. I am Akanjola Luatosin Esther. Here are the headlines. Unilag announces dates for 2021 to 2022 post-UTME list criteria. Buhari sympathized with Enugu government over death of Geoffrey Tabansi. On our political news this morning, Nigerians' unity important than 2023 elections. Senator Kalu. On Sunday, Dare kicks against composition of Oyo APC Congress Committee. On our business news this morning, SIM, minor disqualification constitutional, says NCC. On our sport news this morning, EPL, just like ASEAN, Mikel Wilfred Ndidi reach as fans tells him to join Arsenal. On our health news this morning, Nigerians' pharmaceutical sector dwindling despite 60% production capacity. On our foreign news this morning, U.S. approves $319 billion for construction on new consulates in Lagos. On our entertainment news this morning, Big Brother Naija, our mental health matters. Be kind. Angel begs critics. Full details coming up next. Unilag announces dates for 2021 to 2022 post-UTME list criteria. The University of Lagos, Unilag, will start its 2021 to 2022 post-UTME exercise on Monday, October 11. The management made the announcement on Wednesday. Only candidates who scored 200 and above are qualified to sit for the test. The statement said screening into all courses and programs will commence from Monday 11th to 29th October 2021. It's noted that candidates who made Unilag their first choice in the 2021-2022 UTME are eligible for screening. They must possess 5 credit passes at one sitting in relevant O-level subjects, including English language and mathematics. However, candidates who will not be 16 years of age by 31st October 2021 are not eligible to apply. Those who did not participate in the post-UTME screening will not be considered for admission. Former students of the university whose admissions were withdrawn on the basis of poor academic performance or absence status could reapply on the condition that the new admission shall be for a new program course different from the former program course. Any student expelled from the university cannot be offered free admission. Screening fee is 2,000 naira, the statement added. Buhari sympathizes with Enugu government over death of Geoffrey Tabansi. President Muhammadu Buhari has condoled with the government and people of Enugu State over the death of community leader and great mobilizer, Sir Geoffrey Tochukwu Nnebudem Tabansi, who passed away recently. The president commiserated with family, friends, and associates of the deceased who served the nation meritoriously, retiring as a federal director of housing. Buhari noted that late GTN Tabansi contributed tremendously to the development of the housing sector in various capacities professionally, rising to a council member in the National Institute of Estate Surveyors and Valuers until he breathed his last. This was contained in a statement signed by Garba Shehu, the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, and made available. Buhari urged the people of Enugu State to take solace in the fact that the late President General of the Enugu State Indigenous General Assembly in Abuja, conscious of citizen participation in nation building, rallied them to always strive for growth and development of fatherland wherever they found themselves. He prayed that the Almighty God will grant the deceased internal rest and strengthen the family and friends as they mourn him. On our political news this morning, Nigerians' unity important than 2023 elections, Senator Kalu. Ahead of 2023 general elections, the chief whip of the Nigerian Senate, Senator Orji Uzo Kalu, has called on Nigerians to give more priority to the unity of the country rather than the ongoing intrigues and strategies over the future polls. Senator Kalu, who represents Abia North District in the Senate, made the call on Wednesday in Abuja while fielding questions from journalists after receiving the traditional title of Kibiya Aru of Arungun Emirates in Kebbi State from the Emir, Alhaji Mohammed Mera, responding to a question on whether he would run for presidency in 2023. The lawmaker said he prefers to return to the Senate and not contest for the position of president, but stressed that what should be of interest to all Nigeria now is unity of the country and not politics of 2023. He said there must be a united Nigeria first before talking of 2023. Solving the problems of banditry, insurgency, kidnapping, etc. should be the focus of all Nigerians now and not politics of 2023 by politicians. All hands have to be on deck in achieving peace and unity in the country. Government also cannot do it alone. Nigerians must support the concerted effort being made by government at all levels. For any politician to become president, governor, senator, or whatever in 2023, there must be peace in the land first. The very reason why our politicians and particularly public office holders across political divides should come together in stemming the tide of violence and disunity in the country. Sunday Dare kicks against composition of Oyo APC Congress Committee. Minister of Youth and Sports, Mr. Sunday Dare, has kicked against the composition of a committee set up to conduct Congress of All Progressive Congress, APC, in Oyo State. Dare is from Ogbomosho in Oyo State. Our correspondent gathered on Wednesday that the APC Elder Advisory Council, led by a former governor of the state, Otumba Christopher Adebayo Alawu Akala, had approved a 9-man committee to oversee the zoning and planning of the state Congress. The committee is expected to have its inaugural meeting on Thursday in Ibadan. Alawu Akala, who ruled the state between 2007 and 2011, is from the same town as the minister. Dare has, however, kicked against the composition of the committee. Dare expressed his displeasure at the conduct of some Oyo APC party chieftains, which he said is inimical to unity of the party. The minister in his reaction explained that critical stakeholders were not informed when the committee members were allegedly selected. Dare said critical stakeholders in Oyo APC were not informed or carried along in the selection of the members of the zoning committee. This is wrong. Consultations were scanty, selective, deeply biased, and overbearing. At this stage, all critical stakeholders must be informed about any step being taken towards the state Congress. It is the only way to foster peace. The chances of Oyo APC in the 2023 elections will depend heavily on unity and team spirit. We must have an all-inclusive team and shun personal interest at this point. The primary aim of every stakeholder in this party should be victory in 2023. We must not give room to divisive factors at this point if we indeed want Oyo APC to emerge victorious at the polls. On our business news this morning, same minor disqualification constitutional, says NCC. The Nigerian Communications Commission says that it is not disqualifying Nigerians from getting the subscriber identity model, adding that the age limit is in line with the constitutional provision. The Commission said this in a statement titled NCC Not Disqualifying Nigerians from Getting SIM and signed by NCC's Director of Public Affairs, Dr. Ikechukwu Adinde, on Wednesday. NCC argued that the age limit proposed in its draft regulation was based on the Constitution, which makes 18 years the age of consent in the country. It added that acquiring a SIM required the subscriber to be of legal status involving a contract between service providers and subscribers. It said the age of 18 years for SIM acquisition proposed in the draft regulation is contingent on the constitutional provision, which makes 18 years of age the consent in Nigeria. Also, SIM acquisition is a contract between service providers and the subscribers, which require the subscriber to have proper legal status, be of mature mind, and rational enough to bear certain responsibilities, obligations, and liabilities imposed by a contract. It added that the age limit proposal in the draft regulation was designed to protect minors, stating that the parents and guardians of those below the age of 18 could acquire SIMs on their behalf. It said the proposal is therefore to protect minors. Parents and guardians can acquire SIMs in their names on behalf of their children and wards, in which case they assume whatever responsibilities or liabilities arise from the usage of such SIMs. A measure expected to also strengthen national security. While the Commission is progressively pursuing digital inclusion for all, the draft proposal is intended to guarantee increased monitoring of children and shield the minors from undue liabilities in line with NCC's Child Online Protection Drive. The NCC said a consultative engagement process was still ongoing, adding that it would consider and deliberate on all comments before issuing a final regulatory instrument. On our sport news this morning, EPL, just like Essien, Michael, Wilfred Ndidi react as fans tells him to join Arsenal. Leicester City midfielder Wilfred Ndidi has responded to a fan who told him to sign for Arsenal. Ndidi told the fan who bumped into him at an event that Arsenal already have Thomas Partey and Mikel Arteta's squad. However, after being asked by the Arsenal fan, Ndidi smiled and replied, "You have Partey, he is a great player." When the fan advised Ndidi that he could partner Partey in Arsenal's midfield, the 24-year-old laughed again and replied, "Like Michael Essien and John Obi Mikel, Ndidi has established himself as a key player in Leicester's midfield," ordered Brendan Rodgers. The Nigerian international had previously been linked with a move to a Manchester United as the Red Devils manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer continues to target a new defensive midfielder. Ndidi currently has over 2 years remaining in his current deal with Leicester. The midfielder is currently sidelined with a hamstring injury following Leicester City Premier League 2-2 draw with Crystal Palace last weekend. Rodgers estimated that Ndidi could be out for 4 to 5 weeks. This means Ndidi could miss Leicester's upcoming Premier League matches against Manchester United and Arsenal later this month. On our health news this morning, Nigeria's pharmaceutical sector dwindling despite 60% production capacity. Medical experts said the Nigerian pharmaceutical market has remained stagnant at $1.5 billion to $2.5 billion, despite its potential to hold 30 to 4% of the African pharma market, given new policy interventions. Currently, Nigeria hosts about 60% of the pharmaceutical production capacity in Africa and is projected to grow between $860 billion to $70 billion after COVID-19, the expert said. The Director General, the National Institute for Pharmaceutical Research and Development, NIPRD, Dr. Obi Adikwe, raised the concerns of Nigeria's failing pharma sector, where researchers under the pharmaceutical sector when thematic group of the Tertiary Education Fund, Test Fund, Research and Development Standing Committee, RCDC, has held an appraisal meeting of the sector. Adigwe also warned that pharmaceuticals touch at the heart of national security, adding that the country may never be able to sustain the supply of high-quality and affordable medicines for the populace, except it determines how such drugs are produced and distributed. Pharma sector is probably the highest value chain related sector in any part of the world. For every job you create in the pharma sector, you create close to 10 jobs on ancillary. He said, adding that the sector has a high potential to stimulate growth across the entire socio-economic space. The NIPRD boss asked the government to ensure the provision of infrastructure and equipment, as well as fund local companies in the production of pharmaceutical products. Adigwe insisted on the institutionalization of research in the sector to guide the various processes of pharmaceutical process, production, and delivery, especially surgery, among stakeholders in the identified areas of research. He also called for the improvement in ICT facilities and power supply with external institutions, adding that a focus on phytomedicine can drive the nation's gross domestic product, GDP, to about 5%. Meanwhile, the vice chairman of Test Fund Research and gradual disappearance of pharmaceutical research decried the gradual disappearance of pharmaceutical plants in Nigeria, calling on relevant agencies to save the industry by conserving forests across the country. Ahmed called for the deployment of a legal framework to guide pharmaceutical rights in the country, emphasizing the intellectual property right which is currently used by developed countries in the production and distribution of vaccines was key to the pharmaceutical industry. He called for the development of a fiscal policy on the development of the pharmaceutical industry to ensure that the right steps are taken. On our foreign news this morning, U.S. approves $319 million for constructions of new consulates in Lagos. The United States has approved $319 million contract for a new U.S. Consulate General in Lagos, according to a statement made available by U.S. Department of State, Office of the Spokesperson, while Prenix Federal LLC of Lombard, Illinois, got the building contract, and an architect of New York is the design architect. The 12.2-acre site for the new Consulate General is part of Eco Atlantic, a development led by South Energies Nigerian Limited in collaboration with Lagos State. The location will provide the future democratic campus and its neighbors with access to sustainable modern infrastructure, including an 8.5-kilometer seawall designed to protect the city from rising sea levels and coastal erosion, which is expected to be completed in 2027, the statement read. Since the start of the department's capital security construction program in 1999, the Bureau of Overseas Buildings of Operations, OBO, has completed 168 new diplomatic facilities. OBO currently has more than 50 active projects, either in design or under construction worldwide. OBO provides safe, secure, functional, and resilient facilities that represent the U.S. government to the host nation and that supports U.S. diplomats in advancing U.S. foreign policy objectives abroad. On entertainment news this morning regarding the Big Brother Naija that just completed last week, Sunday, our mental health matters. Be kind, Angel begs critics. Former Big Brother Naija housemate Big Brother Shine Your Eye housemate as Angel has begged Nigerians to stop trolling them for their actions in the house. Angel made this plea in a post on our official Twitter page. The 21-year-old stated that Big Brother Naija reality stars are humans like critics and are bound to make mistakes just like every human being. She urged those criticizing them for their actions to consider their mental health and not make their new celebrity status difficult for them to cope with. Our tweet read, "Mental health is so important, guys. It is easy to forget that everyone that was on the show is a human being. It comes with fame, but we are people like you and mistakes will be made. Let's be kind. Don't use your own moral compass to make it harder than it is for any of us." And that will be that on our breakfast news. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Highlights of our breakfast news today. On our local news, UNILAG announces date for 2021 to 2022 post-UTME list criteria. Buhari sympathizes with Enugu government over the death of Geoffrey Tambansi. In our political news this morning, Nigerians' unity important that 2023 elections, says Senator Kalu. Sunday Dare Kings against a composition of Oyo APC Congress Committee. On our business news this morning, SIM, minor disqualification constitutional, says NCC. On our sport news, EPL, just like ACN Mikel, Wilfred Ndidi react as fans tells him to join Arsenal. On our health news this morning, Nigerians' pharmaceutical sector dwindling despite 60% production capacity. And on our foreign news this morning, U.S. approves $319 million for construction on new consulate in Lagos. On our entertainment news this morning, Big Brother Naija, our mental health matters. Be kind, Angel begs critics. And that will be that on our breakfast news this morning. I want you to continue to subscribe on our channel on AYOGEN Online Television, on our YouTube, follow us on Facebook, and like us on our Instagram page. So I remain your host for today, Marco Jola Oluwatosin Esther. Do have a blessed day.